Chapter 5. Christmas Eve, Prescott, Arizona. Samantha Ross. Samantha sat in the passenger seat of her car, parked outside a house in a neighborhood right around the corner from Wendell's trailer park. They had just left the Verizon store, where she and Jason had finally been able to pay their belated phone bill with the money he had gotten. She finally had a working cell phone again, and she was excited to be able to call her sister Miranda. Jason had told her that they needed to make a stop at this house so that he could pick something up for Wendell. Not thinking too much of it, Samantha navigated the screen of her reactivated cell phone. Reclining her seat back, she put her feet up on the dash. They were laced up in slightly stained white Converse shoes. She hit the window button and let it roll down to let in a nice cool breeze from outside. She thought it truly an incredibly beautiful day. The car was parked under a giant mesquite tree, and its large blooming branches were still full and shaded her nicely from the afternoon sun. From where she sat, she could see both the front door and garage. Jason had already went inside the house. She went to her contacts page, and under favorites, she pressed the name on the screen to dial her sister's number. In capital letters, Miranda Ross appeared on the glowing display, and Samantha put the phone to her ear, listening to the ring. It only sounded twice before a feminine voice answered. "Hello. Samantha, I'm so glad you finally called. I've been really worried about you. Whenever I would dial your number, it would just go straight to voicemail. Where have you been?" her sister said with an urgent and concerned tone in her voice. "Hi, sis. Relax. I've been with Jason. We're fine. We just didn't have the money to pay the bill last week, and I forgot to let you know our phones were turned off. I've missed you, though. We've just had so much going on." "How are you and Noah doing?" Samantha said, attempting to calm her sister, whom, even though she was younger than her, recently she was the more responsible one of the two. "Noah and I are doing great. The company he works for just gave him a raise to head of security. I've been busy helping with the women's group at the church we go to. Helping the young girls and women deal with life today has really made me focus on the scriptures to give them what they need. So many husbands and boyfriends just aren't present anymore in relationships. A lot of these women are single mothers, and their kids' fathers are in jail or gone off using. And a lot are pregnant teens. It's hard for them to stay on the right path in life. I help support them any way I can. Sometimes they just need a loving friend to help them through a tough time, so yeah, we're really good. The group has really grown, so it's keeping me busy." Miranda sounded happy, but Samantha could pick up on the slight inflection in her tone that let her know there was something she wasn't saying. Miranda continued, and Samantha knew it was serious. "Sam, listen to me. I don't really want to talk about us. I'm worried about you. When your phone was off, I was trying to get a hold of you. I had some really big news to share. Then I was concerned about where you were and if you were okay. So I started praying, and I got this feeling that you weren't safe, that you were in danger even. So I prayed harder for days. And now that you're finally on the phone with me, the feeling hasn't gone away. What's going on, Samantha?" Miranda's voice was serious, and she expected a real answer. Samantha knew she could hide anything. She couldn't hide anything when it came to her sister. It was like she had this superpower and just knew things she couldn't possibly know. Her intuition was spot on. She decided she'd just come right out with it. "Right now, we're sort of in between places. We had a good spot to stay at our friend's place, then it didn't really work out." She paused in her explanation, deciding if she should give the full details about Ned's death, then figured honesty would be best. "The guy we were staying with died in a drug overdose, so right now Jason's in the process of finding us somewhere else to stay. Lately we've been camping. We've got a motel for a few nights too," she said truthfully. Miranda's voice was bewildered. "What were you doing hanging around somebody doing drugs? Don't you remember what happened to our mother?" "Samantha, if this guy Jason is going to bring you places like that, I don't think he's good for you. Sis, be honest with yourself. If this guy is like that, he doesn't deserve you." Miranda said with a tense string of emotions in her voice. Jason's not a bad guy. We're just trying to enjoy life fully while we can. We'll find a place to stay soon. Jason always finds a way. Plus, you haven't even met him yet. So what if he does things a little unconventionally? I've had a really good time with him. I'm actually having fun for the first time in a long time in my life, so lay off, Miranda. I wouldn't ever let anything happen to me. Samantha's tone wavered, though she tried to put as much confidence and strength in her voice as possible. She just wasn't sure if she believed what she was saying. A real man is going to protect you, Sam, not drag you to some trap house where people overdose and die. Is he feeding you drugs like Dad did with Mom? That kind of fun isn't going to bring you real happiness. It's temporary. And spiritually, you're inviting unclean things into your life. That lifestyle is only going to let you get into a world of hurt. Look at the mess you're already in. You need to be careful. I think you should leave this guy and come stay with Noah and I. We have an extra bedroom. Please think about it. We'll come get you. Miranda's voice was egregious and pleading at the same time. She knew her sister was being led astray by this man. She just wished she would realize that. Jason is protecting me. He's strong and could kick someone's ass if he wanted to. I'm going to give him a chance to figure something out for us. If not, I'll think about your offer. I'm not really like you, Miranda. I don't care all that much about that church stuff. We're not the same way. God hasn't done anything good in my life. God took Mom and Dad from us. So why should I care about church or women's groups? I appreciate your offer, and I'd love to come for a visit. But Wendell has just offered to let Jason work for him in exchange for renting out a trailer for us in his park. And it's almost a sure thing. I'll text you the address later if it all works out. You'd be welcome any time. It is Christmas after all. I'll be careful, all right. But right now, I'm enjoying life as it comes. And I like Jason a lot. So can you just drop it for now? I've been honest with you because you're my sister. Please just let it go for once. Tell me what big news you said you wanted to share. Samantha had had enough and was trying to change the subject, though she was genuinely curious. Miranda sighed deeply. Okay, this wasn't exactly how I wanted to tell you, but it's good. It's really good. Noah proposed to me, and now we're engaged. Both sisters squealed in delight, cheerily laughing together just like when they were young. I know. I love him so much, sis. He's really a great guy, she said excitedly. I'm happy for you. That's amazing, Miranda. You absolutely deserve that. Are you having the wedding soon? Samantha questioned. Internally, she felt embarrassed. She was the older sister, and now her younger sister, Miranda, was getting married. And on top of the fact, she hadn't even met him, or even visited her sister in over a year. They talked on the phone, but she had spent the last year of her life partying and experimenting with drugs. That's how she met Jason. But she thought she was living her best life, and somehow that separated her from the most important person in her life, her own sister. And now she was getting married to a guy she had not even bothered meeting. Now she wondered if that was selfish of her. We're going to have the wedding soon, right after the new year, and Samantha, I want you to be my maid of honor. Please, sis, it would mean so much to me. I haven't seen you in so long, and I'm only a couple of hours away in Flagstaff. Please tell me you'll say yes. Miranda's happiness was contagious, and now Samantha couldn't stop smiling either. Yes, absolutely, of course I will. Let me figure out what's happening with me and Jason, and I'll make plans to be there. Can I bring a +1? The gears were working in Samantha's head when she said this. She really was questioning her life with Jason right now, and what she needed was one of the small blue pills Jason kept in his bag. She was feeling a bit anxious about seeing her sister again after such a long time. I'll provide your dress and everything, don't worry. And if you really vouch for him, sure you can bring +1. I just worry about you. I have a sense for these things, especially when I pray about it. God always gives me insight about things. I think it's my spiritual gift. I can't ignore the warning you may be in danger or trouble. I just feel it. Miranda paused and thought about what to say next. And about what you said about God, He didn't take Mom and Dad away from us. They had the free will to choose that life, and they chose it over us, sister. They didn't do anything wrong. They chose drugs and a wicked life. She didn't want to ruin the joy and excitement they were just sharing, but she needed Samantha to understand this. God is good, and He gives us good things. I didn't do anything to earn Noah and the life he's given me. God blessed me with a good man in my life. It was a gift from Him. I want you to have the same thing too. You're so beautiful and wonderful, and you deserve the best this life has to offer. But you have to live a life that honors God if you want a chance at all of having it. We can talk about the wedding tomorrow. Just let me know what you figure out. I'll be praying for you, sister. Please be careful until then. And if you need anything at all, just call me anytime, even in the middle of the night. All right. I love you, Samantha. Miranda said this last part sincerely, and she hoped her sister was listening. Okay, I'll be fine, Miranda. You're kind of making sense about God. I just don't put a lot of thought into the Bible. I better go now. I'll talk to Jason and call you in the morning, okay? I'm so happy for you, really. This wedding is going to be beautiful, girl. I'm so excited to be your maid of honor. I love you. The sisters ended the call, and Samantha put her phone down in the center console cup holder. She was beginning to wonder what was taking Jason so long. She bent down and unzipped the baggie at the base of her feet. She knew Jason kept this stuff in there. Finding what she wanted, she swallowed the pill, chewing it first so it kicked in faster. When she saw the garage door of the house beginning to slowly work its way open, she saw Jason standing a foot taller than the man he held around the neck, walking into the garage together. It looked like he was forcing the man, who, from the looks of it, was bleeding from his nose. Red stains blotched his white shirt. Even sitting from her spot in the car, she could see the man was red-faced and flustered. She could hear faint shouting from them both through the rolled-down passenger window. Samantha watched the scene wide-eyed. Jason shoved the man onto the floor beside a newer-looking moped. It was the kind you sat on to ride, dark blue, with hatched luggage bin on the back end. It looked nice. The kind of thing you saw girls or nerdy college guys ride around when they didn't have licenses to drive. Jason kicked the man hard enough to send him sprawling onto the floor. Jason could hear the thud from the blow all the way from the car. She saw Jason take a step forward and lean over, putting his face close to the man's. Then he reached out with his powerful and heavily tattooed arm, pointing to the moped.
Go ahead.
Samantha noticed a small satchel that didn't belong to him around his left shoulder. His other hand reached out and grabbed the hair on the top of the man's head. Taking a fistful, he wound back and slammed the man violently across the face. More blood came from his nose. He was now crying pathetically on the floor. Jason shouted again, and the man fumbled, reaching in his pockets. He brought out a silver set of keys and presented them to Jason. Jason took them, but just then the house garage door opened again, and another skinny college-aged man stepped out, holding a katana sword above his head. He said something to Jason and was about to step forward in defense of his friend, crying on the floor, when Jason pulled out a black handgun and pointed it at the man, freezing him in his tracks. The glinting silver sword shimmered in the sun as the man slowly lowered it from above his head. She could tell Jason was talking to him, but couldn't hear the words from the parked car. The skinny college man sheathed the katana and tossed it on the floor beside Jason's feet. It looked like the kind of thing you'd buy at a swap meet or off Amazon for killing zombies. Still standing at gunpoint, Jason waved the gun down, instructing the guy to join his friend on the floor next to the moped. When the man got down on both knees, Jason leaned over and picked up the sheathed katana sword. Then, quick as lightning, swung and bashed the new man in the face, making him fall backwards onto the floor. He then stepped over and stomped on his head multiple times until it was as much of a bloody mess as his friend's. Samantha was in shock over the whole scene. She watched Jason put the sword away through his belt loop. Then she watched in terror as he took the first man's hand away from his broken nose and placed one on the stepboard of the moped. Pulling the arm out straight, he then drew his knee up and stomped down across the length of the arm, and even from the car she heard a sickening crack. His arm now broken, the man's eyes flew open, his mouth gaping wide, but no sound came from it, and only a quivering open back and forth until the man caught his breath. He pulled his mangled appendage back in close to him. Finally, a horrible and painful moan came from the man's mouth. Jason stepped over him, got onto the moped. Inserting the keys, he started it up, using his legs to back it up. Then, putting it in gear, he ran over the leg of the first man and the bloody face. Both tires bumping up over the leg, she heard another loud crack sound, and the almost unconscious man bolted upright, his face screwed up in a furious mask of pain, both hands shooting out to his broken leg. Jason parked the moped in the front driveway, then put down the kickstand. He walked back into the garage and leaned over, speaking to the man with the broken arm. Samantha saw him talking in the man's ear, but couldn't hear what over the pain and anguish sounds of the man with the broken leg. Jason stopped talking to the man cradling his arm, then walked out of the garage, reaching up to pull down the large sliding door, shutting it and hiding away the whole scene of intense violence behind him. He rode the moped bike down the driveway and up to the driver's side door of Samantha's car, rapping on the window with his knuckles. He lowered his face down to the window and looked at her. She could see he was red and sweating immensely. "Follow me back to Wendell's trailer," he shouted through the glass, and pointed with his hand behind him in the direction of the park. Their eyes locked together. Samantha felt a sick feeling in her stomach. She was horrified and stuck in place, until he knocked against the glass again. "Hurry up, hop in the driver's seat and follow me back. That trailer is ours now, baby." That small use of an affectionate word made her snap out of it, and she scrambled over the center console and plopped down into the driver's seat. Turning the key, she hurriedly turned the old car around. Jason was riding away on the moped out in front of her. His large frame body looked funny on the smaller machine. She felt uncomfortable with everything that just unfolded in front of her, but the fear was fading away. Perhaps it was that she was now focused on driving, or maybe it was the small blue pill she just swallowed not too long ago. Samantha was just defending this man to her sister, and after all that, she was now riding along behind him. She repeated to herself internally, along for the ride. Then she thought when they got back to Wendell's, maybe he would explain the whole thing. Perhaps he was just collecting money for Wendell. She didn't know all the details yet, did she? Until then, she'd give Jason the benefit of the doubt. He always had a reasonable explanation for things. The wind rushed in from the passenger side window. It blew her hair backwards, and the sound of it was soothing to her. She looked over to the side where Jason was knocking on, and smudges of red blood spotted the driver's side window. Pausing for a moment, she then rolled it down all the way, letting in the full breeze. She reached over to switch on the radio. A song played aloud, and Samantha lifted her chin up, nodding her head to the tune. She started to sing along in her sweet, gentle voice, rising up to match the rhythmic melody of the song's chorus. She smoothed a hand through her wind-blown hair, the bright beams of the sun shining on her face. Then an artificial warmth from the pill flowed through her body, for now she was at peace, and she left the terrible scene of violence behind her.